Today, I am going to show you how I personally would book a flight using British Airways Avios to fly American Airlines. This is the exact process I would use if you, my friend, were to ask me how to fly to New York. That's right. Today we're going to New York City! So why are we using British Airways Avios to begin with? Well, first off, all the big banks like Chase, Capital One, Citi, Amex, none of them really transfer over to American Airlines directly. With the exception of Bilt, those points do transfer directly to American Airlines. However, we can't usually use those points to book an American Airlines flight unless we go through the travel portal, but we want to try to get bigger value, hence why we use British Airways Avios. Alright, so here's the scenario. Let's say you, my friend, asked me, it's like, hey Michael, I want to go to New York in May. How would I find an award flight for that? I'll show you this step by step right now. By the way, this process I'm going to show you has 3 tools. They're all free to use. And some of the steps are indeed optional. But make sure to stick around to the end because I'm gonna show you a totally different tool that's also free that may be in your best interest to take a look at as well. So stick around to the end of the video for that. Alright, so step 1, we're gonna start off on Google Flights. And we're here for a couple of reasons. First, let's start with the search. Just look up Austin to New York, hit show flights to get into the Google Flights program. Alright, and now we can see there's a lot of different airlines that fly to New York, which makes sense. Austin and New York are both popular places. So what we'll want to do is we're looking for non-stop flights and we're looking for just for American Airlines. So we'll apply those filters here. Alright, the reason why we're looking for non-stop flights only is because British Airways charges by the distance. So if you have a connecting flight from Austin to Dallas or to Chicago and then New York, you're going to pay more points doing that compared to if you were to use a direct flight only. So that's why I apply both of those filters here. And so we're going to click over to May because that's what we said we were looking for. And so looking at the calendar here, it's telling me that there's a direct flight basically any day of the week departing. So I click on that. Now it's going to show me the return dates. Looks like there's nothing but non-stop flights all month long as well. So that's good news for us. And so we don't really need to select a flight here. That's kind of all the information I needed to know. And now from here, we're going to go to Qantas to pre-search our award availability to try to figure out what dates would be available for us. And now this step you could probably skip if you just have a couple of dates that are available for you to travel. You could probably skip to the British Airways step and do some hunting and pecking on those specific dates. But if you have a wide range of available dates, like the entire month of May, this could save you some hassle later on as we search for the award availability dates potentially found on British Airways. So we're going to do this on Qantas, and the reason why we're able to do that is because it's part of the One World Alliance. The One World Alliance includes Qantas, British Airways, and American Airlines. So what we're going to do here is we're going to hit multi-city only so that we can get this award calendar that looks very pretty for us. We type in Austin to New York and JFK, and then we're going to go ahead and check the return flights as well to save a step later on. The key here is you're going to hit flexible with dates for all flights. This will give you 2 weeks before the date that you put in and 2 weeks after. So I'm gonna put the 15th so we kind of get the first half of the month, and the return flight on the 16th to get the second half of the month as well. And then you can put however many passengers, and then you'll have to hit login and search flights. So I'm gonna log in real quick. Alright, so once you log in, it'll take you to this nice little calendar here. And so it's got some pretty little ribbons for us, and it shows us from the ending of April towards the end of May for our flights here. These ribbons show us the award availability on certain dates. You've got the key here, so it's showing us business class flights. We're going to focus on economy for our trip here. And then you can filter that out if you get distracted by all the different ribbons. And so each ribbon shows us that there is award availability on Qantas. Now, this is helpful for us, so whenever we go to British Airways, we don't need to search on the 24th because we know there's no award availability. However, Qantas does show more awards available to them that aren't specifically available with British Airways. Particularly, they also show a lot of connecting flights, whereas we want non-stop. Unfortunately, there's no way to filter for that here either. Now from here, you could go into each of these dates and try to find a non-stop flight to then search on British Airways. However, we're just going to skip that, and we'll do the hunting and pecking on the British Airways site so that way we know there's award availability versus doing it on here. So this will just tell you what dates you can avoid searching for availability on the British Airways site. Now this calendar is pretty full. However, some calendars are a lot more sparse, and that is when it's more useful. Real quick, if you're enjoying this content so far, go ahead and let me and YouTube know by hitting the like button below, and consider subscribing. This is Nurse Michael Travels, your one-stop shop for your travel hacking questions. Here's some more. Okay, so from here, we're going to compare this award calendar to the Google Calendar that showed us which dates had non-stop flight. And then we compare those two. Now, like I said, every day there's non-stop flights, but that's not always the case. And so from here, we'll pick which dates we're actually going to look to book on British Airways. And so we'll go ahead and do a long weekend on the 9th and the 14th on the way back. And so now that we got our dates, we could look at different options as well, but we're going to go ahead and put all our eggs on this one. So we go to BritishAirways.com. You're going to need to create an account and log in because you wouldn't be able to look up availability otherwise. A login button will be here, and then you can create an account at that link as well. Once you logged in, you're not going to type anything in here. You're going to have to hit the book menu and book a flight with Avios. So you'll click here, it'll bring you to this page. This is where you type in the flight information. So I'll go ahead and do that real quick. All right, so I put in the flight information from the 9th to the 14th, economy. You could do one way at a time as well. Whenever I do my initial search, I do typically do one way at a time for some reason. It's just easier to visualize for me. And so it is a little bit slow to load up. And then here we go. So it always says, sorry, there's no British Airways flights available, which we don't care. So here it shows us two, and look, we got lucky. There's two nonstop flights from Austin to JFK. It tells us how many are left. You can click it to select which one. Make sure to note the times here. Don't get too excited. Maybe we don't want to fly at 7:30 in the morning. Then it shows you the connecting flights, so pay attention there. And so we'll skip these, and then it tells us our returning flights. And look at that, we got lucky with two more nonstop flights here. And we'll do the evening. And now there will be no price difference between the morning and the evening flights so long as the distance is the same, as there's no connecting. And then it shows you your price, 22,000 Avios and $11 for a full round trip flight from Austin to JFK. Let me just show you the difference if you have a connecting flight. So just with one connecting flight, it's now 29,500. And then if we had round trip connecting flights, 35,000 points. And so that's a big difference. And so that's why I always prefer, if I'm going to use Avios, to fly nonstop. Okay, and to be truthful with you, it's not always this easy. There's a lot of hunting and pecking, trying to figure out if there is availability on that date. This is a very popular destination, and we're booking pretty far in advance. It's October currently, and I'm looking in May. So if you do find out that there's no availability on this date, you could just hit over to one of these dates here. Unfortunately, it doesn't always tell you if there are flights available. You literally have to hit check availability, wait for it to load, and then it will tell you. So if you are booking for a specific weekend and you don't want to go through the previous step, you could probably just as quickly look on British Airways, hunt and peck those specific dates, and see if there's availability. And if there's not, then you'll have to kind of figure out an alternative route, maybe positioning flight or going through a different airline, etc. And so once you confirm the flight availability and the price, you'll then need to transfer your points over to British Airways. And again, this is from any bank really. We're talking American Express, Chase, Capital One, Citi, Bilt. All of those transfer, so figure out that process for that. I got a video of how to transfer your Chase points over to any partner, so check that out if you need to. However, it's a pretty straightforward process. And once you do that, it does take about 15 minutes or so for it to hit your account, but it does hit same day each time I've done it. And once the points have hit your account, go ahead, just hit continue, fill out your regular flight passenger information, and there you go. Your reservation's made on American Airlines through British Airways. As promised, here's the last availability search method. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to BuiltRewards.com. Bilt is a new credit card company that's known for being able to earn points with rent. They have their own credit card, and it's actually pretty solid, no annual fee. I'll make a video about that at another date later on. Let me know if you're really interested about that. Anyways, you're gonna need to create an account and log in, which I do recommend you doing because you can get some free points. And then you're gonna go to travel, and then you'll hit transfer partners, and you're gonna use this tool. So Bilt also has a lot of transfer partners. If you look here, they share a lot with many of the major banks as well. You'll see Virgin Atlantic, Flying Blue, also American Airlines, British Airways, Cathay Pacific, Air Canada, United, you get the gist. And so they're not 100% matched up with any of them, but they have a lot of commonalities. And so this tool is powered by Point.me. That's point.me. It's a website and its own program. It's pretty robust and very useful, but it's paid for a reasonable fee, albeit, and I do recommend that you use it if you need it. However, we're trying to be a little cheap here, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna insert the search information for the flight that we were interested in and put whatever date, and then it will load up. It is a bit slow. It's searching through 12 different programs and it shoots out all these results for you. Now it does default to the quickest flight typically, and so you'll see United, Delta, and everything that it finds. I typically do points low to high because I am cheap, and it shows us the American Airlines picks first. Now mind, this is the airline that you'll be flying on, and this is what you book through. So these are flights through American Airline points. And notice this is HPN, that's some New York State airport. And so we're looking for JFK, so 7,500 points. That's a good option if you have American Airlines miles you're looking to use. However, we're gonna find our flight here, which says it's booked through British Airways for 11,000 points. So great, we did a good job because that is the next lowest choice. And then you also got the option here to book a United flight through Air Canada and Delta through Virgin Atlantic. There's a few different reasons why I would recommend for someone to use this tool. One, if you wanted to double check your work, make sure you didn't miss anything. Two, if you're a newbie and you're just trying to figure out what's out there, what's available, and if you have very few dates that you're searching, because like I said, you're searching through 12 programs, you have to do one date at a time. So this is just the departure date. I have to find the return flight as well. And so you can use this tool however you like, whether it be the initial search or the post search. However, it's useful for me in various ways, and I thought you would like it too. So that's all the tricks in the hat. Thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. As a reward, here's me doing a crazy dance while you check out this next video.